Hello everybody, guess who? That's right, it's me and Liz.
Hi.
Liz. Hi. We're back to do another Patreon commentary, hot off the back of our disastrous Death and Taxes commentary, which crashed about 5 times throughout recording.
But I've got a good feeling about this one.
I've got a good feeling about this one too. So.
One take wonder.
Yeah, that's it, one take. Now I'll be glancing over at the little recording module constantly to make sure, yep, still recording. And we're going to talk about the fine print today. A slightly older video, late 2019, but quite a popular one.
Yes.
Unexpectedly so, I think. I wasn't expecting this one to do as well as it had. I missed the boat on The Outer Worlds a bit. I was a bit behind on it. But people seem to like it.
But it's a certified banger.
It's a certified bop. So we're going to talk about it. Yeah. Let's go. We normally introduce Liz on these. This is Liz.
Hello.
She's my girlfriend. If you've not seen any of these before, she's really cool and she helped me with things.
Yes, I help on some of the videos. I didn't do an awful lot on this one, actually.
You helped with some of the costuming.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't there for filming.
No, this was filmed up in Birmingham in the studio. Let's roll.
It's one of your more intricate opening logos.
This opening logo is... I just missed it. Definitely a lot more intricate, a lot more patterning going on here. I had fun with this one. A very Art Nouveau logo style. I really like the art style of sort of Art Deco, Art Nouveau, and The Outer Worlds is full of it, so I tried to work a lot of that into the video where I could, so this is certainly my most ornate interpretation of my logo to date.
Some holographic effects.
Yeah, a lot of holographic effects in this video. Really abused those throughout. It's a headphone cable there. I'm trying not to pull your headphone out of your ear. Yeah, so a lot of holograms throughout this video, which is fun. A lot of chromatic aberration as well, a lot of split colour channels. I didn't have enough intro to fill out the particularly long intro to this song. It's about 22, 23 seconds until the lyrics kick in, which is a bit longer than normal for my songs. So this is actually just a shot from the game's intro of a panel on a desk with some appropriate materials that I just lifted and put in to fill the gap. But it works.
There's actually quite a lot of gameplay in general in this video.
It's pretty. It's not too gameplay heavy, but there are several sequences. Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, when I showed this video to some well, I didn't show it to them, but some friends of mine from my old job, I went back to visit my old job a little while ago before lockdown. And they'd seen this video and they were talking about it and they said, "Oh, how did you do that intro bit with the desk? Was that full 3D?" I said, "Oh, I had to break it to them. I didn't make that bit. That's gameplay. I didn't make this bit. I wish I could say I made this bit."
Welcome to space.
So this environment here
Welcome to space. There you are.
Is my first fully 3D tracked environment I'd experimented with in a video. So this is an entirely handheld camera. I'm on a full green screen here with tracking markers all around me, and the environment's being totally replaced with the environment built in After Effects. And it was actually not planned. I wanted to do a lot of fun camera work in this video, and we had a crane for some of it, which I'll talk about a bit later. But we'd filmed the sequence already from a static camera angle, and I was just going to do sort of a standard artificial zoom in with it. But at the end of the day, I was there, and Rustage was there on the day. If you're familiar with Rustage, another great YouTuber, he was there helping out on the day, and so was Dan Bull, because this was filmed at Dan Bull's studio. And it was just me and Rustage finishing up. And I said, "Should we try a handheld one?" And he'd never done camera work before. And he's like, what do I do? I said, "Well, just get the camera, and as I do the lyrics, just sort of walk towards and around me a bit, and just make sure the camera's always moving, and we'll see if it looks any good." It probably won't use it, but I'd like to try doing some more full 3D tracking. We've got all the tracking markers out anyway. We might as well have a go. And we ended up using it. This was actually Rustage's first take. We did 3, I think, and this was the first one. It just looks... looks cool. It looks cool.
Welcome to
All the real 3D environment. And I did this technique again on Slide Into the Void. And then I've not done really a big studio video since then because of the terrible coronavirus.
COVID-19.
Yeah, once I get back into the studio, I'll be able to do big, fully 3D camera moves again. But right now I'm filming on a tiny green screen in my living room where the camera cannot move. But that's how
Apart
this
from
came out.
virtual cameras and After
Yes, well, I
Effects.
can do fake camera moves.
They can do everything.
I can go anywhere, but I will just be a flat 2D plane.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's that. This costume is a recreation of one of the outfits in the game. I custom commissioned that, so thank you to you guys for funding that. From a good friend of mine called Britt, and she's a cosplayer and does costume commissions. So she made this blazer for me. She modified it. It was a plain black blazer, and she added all the detailing to it. So that's what I'm wearing throughout the video.
And your hair here is very neat and tidy to fit the character.
Yes.
Whereas later in the video,
Yeah.
you're more scraggly.
Yeah. So I had to have a beard for half this video. So we filmed this video, and I did all the character. I had the beard. We filmed all of the beard character stuff first, and we were very short on time. So we didn't have much time for this video, and I was already running late with it. I had to run off and quickly shave and clean my hair and make it all
Slick
neat
it
and
back.
coiffed,
Yeah.
and change costume, and then get back ready to film the rest of it, and be sure that there was definitely nothing else I needed to film with the other character, because once the beard's gone, I can't film
Yeah.
any more of that.
Yeah, the same thing we did for Red
Yes.
as well, yeah.
Yes, Red was a bit looser because I just I'll just shave a bit more off and do
Yeah.
another character. This one was like, I have a full beard, and I will have no beard, and I have to make sure I've done everything I need with the beard before we shave it.
What were you expecting? It's a dangerous place. Thank you for investing. Go.
Fun fact about the intro to this song. I often take quite a long time to write my lyrics, and I have a lot of ideas, and I plan them out, and I'll spend a week going over notes and things. Sometimes when I hear a beat and I go, right, I'm going to use this beat for this song, it works. I'll just I'll just improvise over it for a little while and see what I can come up with. And the first words I ever improvised over this beat were the words, Welcome to
Welcome to
space.
space.
What we were expecting. It's a dangerous place. Thank you for investing. And so I freestyled that, and it stayed.
There for your rota, there for your orders. Fill up these quotas. We'll
Is
bill
that
for
crane
your
shot
quarter.
there?
Sorry?
Is this a crane shot?
This is not. This is artificial. I'm actually going to turn
okay.
our headphone audio down because I'm struggling to hear you over it. So this is a fake camera move. This is filmed totally static, and the camera move was done entirely in post.
Here's report to your foreman.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
But watch for marauders.
Yeah, we need to start again. Hey, so you know that bit where we said about 6 minutes ago, there'd be all one take. We apologise for the poor audio quality up until now.
But we're not re-recording
We're
it.
not re-recording
So
it.
I'm sorry, I'll have to deal with it.
We had the audio coming out of the speakers and as well as the headphones, so it all picked up on the mic. So it means that you're going to have some mic quality audio on the music for the up until now, but we've fixed it now. So
now,
that's fine.
Now it's all gonna go
now
smoothly.
it's all going to go so smoothly.
I can't think of a single thing that could possibly go wrong.
Neither can
from
I.
Here. So
We've jinxed it now.
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
things are going to go wrong. Okay, right. So we got up to here. Let's resume.
Your foreman, but watch for marauders. Cause if you get eaten, there's fees for your mourners.
This is an example of a lyric that I wrote not thinking about the performance. Report to your foreman, but watch for marauders, because if you get eaten, there's fees for your mourners, rhymes in my accent.
yeah.
It does not rhyme in the accent I used in the song. Because in English, mourners, marauders, it's it's the same sort of sound. In American, it's mourners and marauders. It goes sort of and it no longer really rhymes properly. And I didn't notice that till after I'd recorded it. And Dan Bull lambasted me for it when he heard the song. He had a real friendly go at me for ruining that rhyme scheme. But I still like it.
Prosperity's there in the
The Moon Man.
Man face.
This was fun. So this is the Halcyon Moon Man, well, the Spacer's Choice Moon Man mascot, who was fun to do. He's a very basic little character rig. Actually, I say very basic. Getting the hat to work was a bit iffy because the brim of a hat is a very complicated shape, and when it moves in 3D, even more so. So there was a bit going on there to get the hat brim to animate properly. But aside from that, he's basically just a ball. He's a big flat texture with a face on, and then After Effects has an effect that wraps the texture around into a ball. So that's how that works. But the face rig on that ball is built the same way I build any other face rig. If you watch the Death and Taxes breakdown or commentary we did released a week or two ago at this point, I imagine that's how this is going to work out. We're recording them one after the other. You'll see how I build my face rigs. So that's that, with sort of a hologrammy effect over the top.
Obviously, the mouth here is more complicated because there's actual lip sync happening.
Yeah, so I drew about 25 different mouths for this moon, and they all just swap out frame by frame to create the illusion of the mouth moving.
Yeah, just drawing each different mouth shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it comes together to make the illusion of movement.
No way did you think it was supposed to look like
this smoke reveal
Smoky
here.
inky transition,
the
yeah.
poster? It mostly does. Oh, if you'd only read closer.
Just 10 short years to a new frontier.
That's your drawing, isn't it? In that background, that's not.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, most of the artwork in this video is either totally original by me or is a recreation of some of the game artwork.
As you cruise and you'll
And
wake
this
up.
game has some beautiful artwork.
I
as well.
love the artwork in this
Incredible.
game. I'm really waiting on an art book.
Yeah.
Please, Obsidian, give me my Outer Worlds art book.
Everyone
I need
tweet
it.
them and ask them for an art book.
Yeah, I haven't checked in a while. Maybe there is one.
Maybe
in
there is
production
one.
now. I haven't looked in a little while, but at the time I was really hoping for one.
Maybe if everyone buys the game.
Maybe. Well, a lot of people did. Maybe
Yeah.
once all the DLC's out, they'll do an
Yeah,
art book.
hopefully.
Who knows? I'd like to do a song about the DLC that's coming out soon. However, it's coming out whilst I'm in the middle of moving house, which is the worst possible time. There's also a load of stuff like happening whilst I'm moving house, and I want to do songs about all of them. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I have to make it work. Right, moving on.
You've been trapped in that ship
Briefly there.
A bit more Moon Man appears a lot throughout this video.
for an awful long
Once you've
time.
made the rig, you might as well.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot what you signed.
gonna use that one.
Honestly, did you not?
This is the bit.
This is the bit of the song that everyone likes on TikTok. The kids on TikTok like this song. So if you're not a TikToker, you may not know that this song has gone viral on TikTok recently.
We know that because we're really hip
We're
and young.
hip, young,
We're
and cool.
really young.
We are what the kids call hip hop and happening. I believe is the phrase used by the youth. We're so with it. So a lot of my music, or all of my music, pretty much is available on TikTok officially, and if you use it at the official upload of the song, it credits me and I get a little cut of royalties or whatever, and that's fine. Someone, without my knowledge, uploaded a snippet of this song, this snippet here, starting at this point, going on for about 30 seconds, without crediting me, and I never knew this until I started getting loads of comments about a month ago on the video saying, "Oh, I'm here from TikTok." And I was confused by this because I went on to my official upload of the song on TikTok and it had maybe 10 TikToks using that sound clip, and none of them had more than a few dozen views. Turns out someone's uploaded another clip, uncredited, and it's got hundreds of thousands of views and about 10,000 TikToks using it for all sorts of weird things.
Any sort of evil corporate.
Character, people cosplaying, people using it in the background of speed paints and all sorts. And I'm very flattered. I wish I was credited, but it does seem that people are slowly finding their way to me, because actually the video for this song on YouTube has now become my most viewed daily video each day for the past month, which is nuts. That's never happened before, to have a video that is old and has dropped out of my most watched daily videos come back up the rankings and be like my most viewed video. Normally it's the ones that are always up there. It's the Doki Doki Minecraft video, not sadly the original since that got demonetized, that dropped down. Art of Darkness and Way Deeper Down are always permanently my top 3 viewed videos, and Fine Print has overtaken them all this past few weeks, which is nuts. Never expected that to happen.
So sort of thanks TikTok.
Sort of thanks TikTok, because now I'm starting to get some recognition, and obviously a big boost to views on YouTube does mean I actually get some revenue off of it, which is nice.
But isn't it because TikTok only uses the first 30 seconds of your official
TikTok is a
upload?
dumb platform. I'm sorry, kids.
Sorry, children.
Because the length of a TikTok is limited to 30 seconds. When you upload music to TikTok as an official upload, all my songs on TikTok only lets you have the first 30 seconds of the song.
Which is for you is usually just the intro.
Yeah,
and maybe
exactly.
the first couple of lines.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Especially because this song has a 20-second intro.
Yeah.
So if you want to use the official upload of this song, you have to. It's stupid.
It's a bad system. TikTok, sort out your system.
Fix it, please, TikTok. Fix it. Anyway, that's my little semi-rant, semi-thank you to TikTok. Let's move on.
Read the colony
There's
policy.
the Moon Man in the actual game.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the
This is Edgewater. This is
Yeah.
the first colony or sort of settlement you meet in the game, and a lot
oh,
of
you
the
can see him
game.
a couple of times actually there in
Yeah.
that frame.
A lot of the song is pretty much the whole song almost is pretty much from the perspective of Spacer's Choice, which is one of the factions. All of the factions, pretty much, aside from maybe one of the factions, is is like some sort of evil corporate entity. So I tried to get that vibe through the song, but visually I pretty much went with Space's Choice as my aesthetic for this one, because it has the Moon Man, and I like the Moon Man.
Find you as company property that wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerate's got you in lock and key. We put the dollar back into idolatry.
That's one of my favourite lyrics I've ever written.
Yeah.
We put the dollar back into idolatry. I don't like to make this video just me tooting my trumpet about things I've done that I like, but I like that.
If you're upset, you can render an apology. We are a
Well,
family
TikTok seems to
forged
like
in
it as
Yeah,
well.
this is
So,
several TikTok likes.
yeah.
There's calm in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure, so venture back.
There's the Moon Man in game. If you've not played the game, this poor guy is a salesman who's contractually forced to wear that Moon Man head and never take it off, and he's had it on for like over a decade or something ridiculous like that. Poor guy.
Venture back down to your slum that's provided at generous prices. Your worth is determined by your sacrifices.
Small term of service went down on the surface.
Costume, though.
Yes,
Internment
first
to 3D
appearance of
that
this
comes
costume.
with the purchase.
So a lot of people seem to think this is like my best chorus I've ever written. I get that in the comments of like, oh, this is your best chorus. It's arguably the simplest
Yeah,
chorus
one
I've ever written.
lots of repeated lyrics.
Yeah, there's not a lot to it, but it is a bop. It's catchy. I'll give it that. Oxygen, who mixed this song, did an amazing job putting this together musically. There's a load of sound effects
Yeah,
going
the sound
on.
effects on the beat are really
Yeah, the
impressive.
clanging metal and hammers and machinery that weren't in the original beat that I bought and sent to Oxygen to use.
Yeah, he's given it a real like industrial feel.
Yeah, he's layered so much into it. I absolutely love the job he did on this. This chorus, visually, that's some people asked how I animated this. Confession, I didn't. I had a very, very good set of filters that sort of gave it a pencil-y, charcoal-y look to the
The
footage.
same
that is,
set of filters that we used on Red, right?
yes,
It's
same
the
set of filters that used
lots of different sort of artistic styles in there, so pencil, paints,
yeah,
all
so
sorts
we used
of
them on the
different ones
painting,
in
the
there.
Rose Gallery.
Yeah.
And this was, I fine-tuned it a lot. I went in and did a lot of customizing on the filter, but this is a live-action me with a filter on.
People liked so much that you eventually made into an actual poster.
Yes, it's still on sale.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. So also the second half of this chorus, this bit here, I did not last minute, but I wasn't planning on doing it. My original plan was just to do this section, the poster section. But once I started making the poster section, I was like, this is good, but it drags. If it's just this for the entire chorus, it's going to get boring. So I ended up making this second half of the chorus with these sort of floaty hologram graphics in space.
Very ornate.
Yes.
To our little town, why don't you settle down? You just fill out the
Yeah, the
Disney sing-along section.
We're happy as can be
If you
inside
guys haven't seen old Disney sing-along,
Sing-along songs,
sing-alongs.
VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used
Which-
to have a lot of those.
yeah, we both had.
Mm.
They'd have a little Mickey head going over the lyrics.
Yeah, this is my take on that.
Yeah.
With the section of the song that's very much pro-corporate workers singing the praises of their
Yeah.
employers, but obviously being told what to say, hence the little bouncing head guiding them through the lyrics.
the valley cannery. We live to pack the cans of meat, not to question where it's found until we end up in the ground around the corner in the yard. You know,
Annoyingly,
we
one of
thought
the
we liked
heads
sound of fiery
I
glory
didn't
in the
animate
start.
properly and
It's not a
lingers on the edge of the screen for a while.
So we earn what we're allowed and give it right back at the
You might
bar.
have missed it.
The ale to
Okay,
cure
you
the
missed it.
taste. Yes, Zero G Brew, your favorite
my,
flavor. So
Moon Man
work
on a
till you
bottle.
bleed in noble.
I really like the visuals of this section as well. It's a very trying to evoke the sort of old styly adverts that are throughout the game and obviously throughout actual history that they're based on. But I love this Art Nouveau art style, so I tried to design this to look as Art Nouveau-y as possible with the pory, swirly liquids.
By labor and virtue.
Impressed with the bottle spinning around as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that's not a 3D bottle. That's a totally 2D
Yeah.
bottle in After Effects that I had to animate to look like it was spinning in 3D.
Relief from your local retailer.
If you'd rather drop dead, that's fine, but you know to drop it down
Background
dead,
again.
there's a
Start
fine.
of
So you
recreation
choose
of the-
Yeah, so this environment here
your
is,
job and not your mind. I gotta meet a six.
this environment is one from the actual game, but this artwork is artwork from the game. In fact, it's the same artwork that's in the background of the Zero G Brew advert. But the game assets were far too low res to use properly. Like I could get away with it here because it was a blurry image in the background. But to use it for this section, I had to completely record it from scratch and also extend it because we pan down from the sky. So I had to make more sky to pan down through. So that took a while to do. So for this video, we bought a crane, not like an industrial building crane, but what's called a jib, which is it was an 8-foot long articulated arm that you mounted to a tripod, and that you could mount the camera to do sort of aerial shots and panning shots and swinging shots. And this was the main shot that we bought it for. And we didn't end up using it. Couldn't quite get the angle that I wanted. We used it for other shots, but I wanted some more extreme height and angles than we could quite get with the jib. So this is actually filmed totally static, and the camera is entirely done in post. And that actually in the background, that's Rustage back there. I just got some B-roll of Rustage digging to the beat. So there he is. This is probably my favourite transition I've ever done.
We make a fortune for the board.
Love that transition. That came out very well.
That's a good one.
This was part of the reason we didn't do it with the jib, is because this transition, panning down to the floor and also rotating the camera down to the floor, you could do it with the jib. It had the option to angle the camera and angle the crane independently. But Nick, who was on the camera, was like, this is too much for one person to do. Because he had to have one hand on one controller for the crane and one on another that was quite far away, and synchronise it all and be stood in a place to reach them. That meant he couldn't see the camera screen, so we couldn't see what he was filming. And we tried a lot, and it didn't work. Yeah. So we did it all in post instead.
I should talk a little about your costume.
Yes, good point. Good point. This is the first appearance of the worker costume.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with how close we got this to the look of the actual game. I had to source a lot of individual elements to try and match the sort of space miner worker look they have going in the game. So it's a woodworking apron, it's some fingerless combat gloves, it's a paintballing, it's a tactical shirt that said it was for airsoft and paintballing, but it's basically a green shirt with a lot of unnecessary folds and pleats and pockets on it.
Yes.
And then there's some sort of just cargo trousers underneath it all that you don't really see much.
And the helmet, wasn't that an actual World War II helmet?
The helmet in game...
It never saw service.
It never saw service, no, it was a surplus. So in game they have these mining helmets with this big sort of vintage light on the front, and we managed to pretty accurately recreate what it looks like, at least from the front. That from the side there's detailing that we didn't bother with because we were never going to see it from the side. But it is a real World War II tin helmet that was surplus. It was never used and sat in a warehouse. I managed to buy one, and I had to paint it up because it was green. It was military green, and we gave it a grey-scale, shiny paint job. And then the light on it's just a bike lamp.
Yeah.
That we mounted. That silver bit it's mounted to there is cardboard painted silver, made to fit the arc of the helmet and sit neatly on it, and the bike lamp sits in a notch in that, and it does work. It does light up. It is turned on here, but we added a lens flare in post onto it to really make it look brighter because it didn't look bright enough. It was a very cheap bike lamp. It was like £3, but it was the exact right sort of roundness and vintage look to it.
Yeah, it looks pretty consistent with the helmet in the game.
Yeah, it does. At least from the front, which is all that matters.
Yeah. And
it's actually got the ones in game don't have the ones in game are magic because they stay on a person's head with no form of fastening. They don't have a strap holding them on. They don't have anything. So in order to emulate that, there's actually a bunch of like makeup sponges hot glued around the inside of the helmet. So that when I put it on, they sort of form around the shape of my head and hold it roughly in place. I couldn't move my head too much. And earlier in this shot, when I'm looking up at the camera, which actually. Well, I say that I didn't have to look up in the camera on this one because it's fake. But on the times we were attempting this with the crane, whenever I looked up at the camera above me, the helmet fell off. So that was a bit of a nightmare we had to deal with.
6 foot deep bottom line. We make a fortune for the board by selling boredom door to door because
just
it's
like
all the
variation on the costume for this one.
Yeah, so I swapped it out for a beanie and some goggles, which I borrowed from Dan Bull. He wears them in his own Outer Worlds music video. So.
And you have got some makeup on as well, just to sort of dirty up your face.
Yes, I'm wearing a lot of like brown and black, just face paint splodged in random places to make it look like I'm a working man. I'm the common worker. Yes, that's that. This scene is handheld, filmed from above, with Nick on I don't remember what he was on now. Was he up a ladder? There's a raised platform on wheels at the studio, and also a ladder. I think for this one he was just up a ladder, pointing the camera down at me, and I told him to just wobble it a bit. And he did, and we got this.
Deserving it is all we can afford.
The trickiest bit was stitching this shot into the previous shot with this transition. So in the original plan for the transition, we were going to look down the grave and see me looking up out of the grave, and it would slowly move down into the grave, but it was a bit too tricky to make it work. So instead we zoom right down the grave and it goes to black for a few frames, and that's the transition point. I spent a long time trying to make it much more seamless.
By selling boredom door to door because it's all that we deserve and it is all we can afford.
Yeah.
Background there.
All the conveyor belts and boxes are 2.5D in After Effects. They're all flat layers arranged in 3D space, which is how I build most of my stuff. Which is not really what After Effects is designed for, and After Effects hates me sometimes, and this is one of those times, because there's a lot of complex intercutting of layers, and like these, I'm pointing at the monitor, and you can't see, I should use the cursor. These boxes moving in and out of these larger areas here, it got very confused, and quite often the box would go in there, but would still be appearing in front of it, and so on, so there's a lot of trial and error of the exact specific layer ordering to get it to look right.
The secrets of the universe and all the world.
Fun fact about the control panels I've put on these conveyor belts, there's text almost always in front of them actually, but this control panel down here is inspired by the control panel on the Wrong Trousers from Wallace and Gromit.
And it is all we can afford. The secrets of the universe and all the world to be explored, but our dreams are back on Earth and now the work is our reward. And you'll be grateful for seats at the table. Though
this is a crane shot. This was filmed on the crane.
There's a little bit of wobble there, so you can see it's authentic.
Yeah. So the problem with the crane was that we found once we had it is that if you wanted to do slow moves with it, it was very creaky and very hard to make the move smooth. If you wanted to do a very quick move and have the camera whiz up or whiz down onto the side, it was perfect. It was very smooth. But I like these long, slow, ominous camera moves. And when you're trying to move this big, heavy crane slowly, it judders and sort of catches. So there are points in this where it's about as smooth as we could get it.
And you'll be grateful for seats at the table, though it dips at one end and the bench is unstable. You may waste your days, but at least you were able to pay off your grave. Since we leased you your cradle, be faithful and pray. We'll repay what you invest. Behave as you slave for humanity's interest. On account that you're all on accounts and we're quickly amounting humanity's interest. You'd think that we'd sink to the brink of rebellion.
Boardroom scene, which was quite a big scene render-wise. It's quite large in terms of scale. The problem I have with a lot of my scenes when I'm building them in After Effects is I do a lot of zooms. I do a lot of, hey, well, we're going to see this scene close up and then we're going to pull back to reveal the whole room, or vice versa. We're going to start wide and zoom right in. And that means that all the assets need to be high res enough that when you get close and zoom into the scene, everything still looks crisp and high res. But that means when you pull out to see the full scene, often it's a full scene of very high-res assets, and it gets very render-intensive, and this is one of those scenes. Also, I just noticed this, quite last minute on this project, on animating these scenes, I was like, the environment outside this sort of boardroom looks a bit blank, and I want some pipes or something in there. So I actually reused the pipes. You'll notice these pipes running through. Are actually slightly bolder and have very slightly different art style to everything else.
And some ink splats.
Yeah, that's because they are borrowed directly from Art of Darkness. Those are Art of Darkness pipes that I repurposed.
And with markets dependent on peddling weapons, the architect tells them the secret.
Render time got a lot quicker as soon as those shutters closed because I could immediately delete everything behind the shutters.
To heaven is simply consuming whatever we sell them.
Yeah, there's a nice chromatic aberration on that.
Chromatic aberration, if you don't know, is where the colour channels of footage are split in a direction. In this case, it's actually cyclical chromatic aberration, so it splits outwards from the centre. But it creates this sort of old video effect that they use in all their holograms throughout the game, where the colour channels are all slightly apart from each other. But it's most visible on my eyebrows here. I've got blue eyebrows, then pink eyebrows, then yellow eyebrows. I think I should start doing that day to day with some makeup. The tricolour eyebrow, I think, would be my thing.
That's the new trend.
Yeah.
We sell them.
Back to scores. Nothing really different on the scores. I try and vary my choruses on each video, but this one I don't think I really did. I was a bit up against it on this video, timeline-wise. I didn't have that much time to get it out before I was going away for a while. But I did do one change. Looks like there's some blood on this door at the end, on the retirement district. If you're not familiar with the game, minor spoiler, there is a storyline around this wonderful retirement district where workers are being invited to go and live out their days in absolute luxury as a thank you for their service to the company. And actually, it turns out it's an extermination chamber. They go through the door to the retirement district and they're all immediately gunned down by gun turrets. So that's Earn the Right to Die is in reference to that, and that's why the retirement district door is what appears here. And this last bit of the video is sort of just a revisit of previous scenes. When writing this song, I really wanted to have that feeling of... There's this point I love in musical theatre, and if you've ever listened to any musicals or watched any musicals, you'll know what I mean, where towards often the end of the first act, the last number of the first act, is all the big song moments we've had so far come back and overlay each other and do a bit. Hamilton has a great one. There's numerous examples I can give, and I wanted that feel at the end of the song. So all the different motifs we did musically, the workers jingle, sing along, the ominous corporate man's voice, they all overlay each other at the end. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, of course. Rustage and Dan Bull were there at the time. I was filming at Dan Bull's studio, and Rustage was visiting as well. So I coaxed them into to doing a cameo. Bless them, they couldn't quite get the words.
It is a big ask to remember someone else's song.
Very short notice. It was right at the
notice.
end of the day, and we were short on time, and we had to close the studio up. So they didn't have long to learn the words. But I kind of like that their lip syncing's off, because it gives me the vibe that these are workers who've been just like shoehorned into appearing in a corporate video, and they don't really know the words and don't really want to be there. And that's I just basically said if
that's the in-universe explanation.
Yeah, exactly. Because they didn't quite get the words. It's like, well, if you can't quite do the lip sync right, just make sure you look unhappy to be there, and it'll look like you're intentionally not bothering with the words.
They didn't have to act.
They didn't have to act. They didn't have to act at all. So that's how this bit came about.
This bit is a reference.
There is a reference that no one's ever noticed.
I'm sure someone mentioned it.
Oh, are we
they?
talking about the same references?
I don't know. I'm talking work, work, hurry, hurry.
Ah, okay. You're talking about the lyrical. I'm talking about the visual reference that no one's ever spotted. We'll talk about yours first. So this lyrical section here, work, work, hurry, hurry, work, work, worry, worry, work, work, hurry, hurry, worry, worry, work, work, is actually a reference to the Money song by Monty Python, which is one of my favourite Monty Python songs. It's not one of their better known ones. I don't know if it was ever in a sketch or if it was just on one of their musical albums. But it's a song called The Money Song, and it has in the background the words work, work, money, hurry, hurry, work, work, worry, worry, work, work, hurry, hurry, worry, worry, work, work. And I really liked that. It fitted this song really well, so I lifted that and referenced it, and it makes its own little appearance here. I think it's also in the background of an earlier point of the song, and it comes back here as well. Visually, the reference I'm talking about is, if you know my work, you'll know I try and hide Bioshock references in a lot of things, and there is one in this scene, which is this box here. It's actually not a box of Cannery Salt Tuna. It is a box of Electrobolt from Fontaine Futuristics from Bioshock, which I don't think anyone's ever noticed in the comments. If they have, I've never seen it. So that's... Oh, another thing to notice, remember what I mentioned earlier, this scene did not like me in After Effects, and it kept rendering wrong because of the layer ordering. Well, you can see that just about on this scene because the shadows of these boxes don't quite line up with the box. They're slightly misaligned, and I couldn't get it to line up properly. So you'll have to deal with that. But you probably never noticed it, so you'll have to just go back to trying to not see it. I see it. Hell, I see it.
Here.
Fun fact about this scene, you may have noticed it has Dan Bull's logo on the form. We tried to cross our universes over a little bit in this video. So Dan made his Outer Worlds video slightly before mine, so I didn't have any of mine to share with him. But my Satisfactory video appears on the TV that is in his video when his video becomes a TV advert for a while, an advert for buying a TV. And it's my Satisfactory video on that it's displaying. And my Outer Worlds video not only features him as a cameo, but this is the paperwork from his Outer Worlds video. That's why it has his logo on it. So I get a lot of comments asking why his logo's on there, and it's literally because it is his form from his video. That's why. And the gobbledygook on these screens, I have a huge pack of old vintage art assets, and it included a whole load of old schematic diagrams for things like tractors and motors and old industry machinery. So that's what I put on these screens. You can see some of it by there.
And some binary.
Combined with loads of binary, yeah. So this is all just random old diagrams for old tech, combined with loads of binary. And actually you can see some of them are mirrored backwards, where I mirrored the monitor over and didn't get around to correcting the text being backwards. Shh.
Here.
Another spoken outro.
Here.
Always with the spoken outros now.
Initial here.
And also I do get a lot of comments saying how I'm using a Wacom pen, and you're right, I am actually holding a Wacom pen.
But
I
it looks
to...
like a space pen.
Exactly. I like to think of it as being a space pen. In space, you use spacey pens. So that's my explanation there.
And initial here.
I think that about covers
Welcome
the fine
to the
print.
family.
There we are. Welcome to the family.
The Halcyon Holding.
Look, it's all the patrons.
Hey, well, it's not all. It's all the patrons at the time.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's not even that. It's all the patrons at the time who had the credit tier. There was still a bunch who didn't have the credit tier. But it's some of the patrons.
Some of you are here.
Some of you guys are here. So yeah, that about covers the fine print. Is there anything else we've missed? The overabundance of tracking markers. So it's my first time doing 3D tracking. So I had printed some proper 3D tracking markers. I had them printed on green. They were green cut rectangles of card, so they blended in with the green screen. And on them was a big black sort of cross with a circle, a very trackable shape. And they say that to get a good 3D track, you need 7 to 9 points of data. And I had 200 tracking markers printed, and I used about 150 of them. So if you look back on Patreon, there is a green screen breakdown of this video. And you can see that some of the scenes, or all the scenes on the green screen, have a huge abundance of black tracking markers everywhere. And it became a nightmare to track them all out. In my mind, I was like, well, the more the merrier. The more I'll have, the better the track will be. But actually, it turned out, because there were so many, I kept passing in front of them. And I had to manually mask them out around me. So that was my failing on this video. I learned from that mistake. We learn from mistakes. But yeah, that about covers everything. Oh, there's some cogs there from Bendy, not just the pipes. The cogs are also Bendy cogs. Yeah, there we are. That's. Ooh, I just knocked out your headphones.
That's fine. I don't need it.
You don't need them anymore. You don't have to listen to this stuff anymore. So yeah, that covers the fine print. It's still recording, so we're all good.
Hey,
And
two-take wonder.
Two-take wonder. Oh yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll record some more of these. Probably not today, but we'll come back and do another 2 at some point in the near future. So let us know if you enjoyed these and which other songs you'd like us to talk about. Yeah, cool. It's a good system. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.